next question, also Burkus submitted. What kind of changes to the game format would you make? Would you go back to a draft? Would you do North America versus World? Would you drop the player per team requirement? And yeah, I mean, I don't know what format I would do for the game. Whether keep the 3-on-3 tournament or do I'd say something 3-on-3 because it lets give the players more room and lets them be more creative. Um, but definitely go back to a draft and definitely drop the player per team
The
requirement.
fact that
Um,
Adrian Kempe and Tom Wilson and Clayton Keller and Nick Suzuki, all very good hockey players, all much better than myself,
Anybody in the NHL is a good hockey player.
are in the All-Star game. Meanwhile, Sidney Crosby and Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson and the list goes on, are all at home is ridiculous. Like,
I think it
and
was
the fact, I
Dom
think also they need
Lucian.
to stop. They need to stop sucking up to the host team too. Like, there's no reason you needed Petrolangelo and Mark Stone and Jonathan Marchessault all there just because they're on Vegas.
Yeah, I think it was Dom Lucian tweeted earlier today what the All Star rosters would have been based on GSVA, which I think is kind of his
Game
game
score.
score. Yeah, his game score stat. And like Metropolitan has Gensel, Crosby, and Letang from the Penguins, and Shesterkin and Anderson as goalies, and no Jari, which like, and again, that's probably what I don't see the Coyotes here anywhere. I don't see
No,
the Habs here anywhere. Stuff like
no.
that. And granted, I don't know if you can necessarily use a stat like that because I'm sure it is somewhat affected by team performance. But
And something like we talked about
definitely drop
with
the one per team, especially if you're going to do divisions,
something like we talked
which
about
gives
with
even less slots.
inviting people like Zegras to the skills competition. You know what? If you want to invite Nick Suzuki to come hang out to do a skill, great. But I don't think he needs to be a requirement for the game. Uh,
Right.
but again, if he's in the skills competition, that just means a longer skills competition, or someone more skilled isn't in the skills competition, which isn't exactly fair either. Um, and I don't know, like I think it's like cool to see a player on your team there, kind of thing. But it's like I don't know if like say there were no Penguins in the All Star game one year, that wouldn't like turn me off from watching the skills con. Like I'd still get to see Connor
Well,
McDavid
I
and
mean,
Liam.
Would you
maybe
like
it
to hear
might to some
something
degree if
funny?
it's this bad, but like if you have an entertaining event, I'm still going to watch it. I guess
You
the
want
Exactly.
to hear
problem is
something
doing it for the
funny?
bigger markets versus smaller ones that are more
Fair.
likely to turn off casual fans. Go ahead, Steve.
So, so in the 90s, the Penguins were so good. The
Oh,
two defensemen and three offensemen were all Penguin players, and they
I
lined
love
up
it.
at the beginning of the game. The
I
only
love it.
person, the only person it was, who was the goalie for the Panthers that year?
Van Beesbrook.
Maybe I can't remember, but I think it was the Panthers goalie. He was the only non-Penguin player out there,
I love it. That's awesome.
and
That's how it should be.
that's why they now have the requirement of one player per team.
I remember seeing like the NHL All Rookie team that they dropped for like recognition at the halfway point, and it was three of the players were Red Wings because it was Lucas Raymond, Moritz Cedar, and Alex Nedeljkovic. And I was like, that's awesome. That's great. I love it. Give me a whole Red Wings rookie lineup. I'm here for it. Like,
that's something that could be fun, like a little rookie game or something like that. Because
yeah,
the
I mean
rookie, I feel like the
they used
rookies
to
are
they
often
used
going
to
to
do
Well,
have
the Young
fun.
Stars game because I remember I went to the
Yeah,
07 oh
or they
07
could
when
do
it was in
they could
Dallas.
even do like a futures game where
Yeah,
it's like some
yeah.
of the top prospects that are either A still in college or B they're playing for one of the juniors teams, they can be invited to play in a game.
I mean,
especially this
maybe I
year
feel
where the
like you're
World
going to run into some conflicts
Like,
there, but the idea, is sound. Or even like
Obviously.
NHL rookies or players under 23,
or
that
like
kind of pool.
people in the AHL, like you can easily coordinate with the AHL. Like it's like colleges, sure you don't have purview over what the NCAA schedule is, but like you can definitely influence the AHL schedule if you want to bring
Yeah.
guys like Martin Firk has the actually, well, there goes one of my trivia questions, but Martin Firk owns the record for the highest All-Star, the hardest All-Star shot, but it's in the AHL All-Star game, not the NHL All-Star game. And it's like guys like that, that'd be awesome to, bring him up to play around at the NHL All-Star game and do
Like
stuff.
I say while you're at it, why don't you even add in some of the women?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
that too. Um, I should have brought it up last week, and I honestly should have brought it with me in here in this room. But my dad has a jersey from the '92 All-Star Game, whichever one was in Pittsburgh. I think it was '92.
That
I
sounds
thought
right.
it was 90.
Well, there
I
you go.
wasn't even
Whatever
born
year it
when
was, he has
Yeah,
a
it was
jer-
90 because I was
That
not
point.
born that year.
whatever whatever year it is. It's early '90s. He has a jersey from that with I think it's Lemieux on the back, and then each of the TV numbers is a different player from the multiple Penguins players that participated in the game.
Huh.
That's
Wow.
cool.
That's
It's very cool.